Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. You just love to see it. I mean, what a quick paradigm shift that was. Really goes to show how cartoonish the last decade of politics has been, but it's been non-stop for 9 years. Donald Trump is a threat to democracy. He's a danger to civilization and the world as we know it. In fact, he presents such a grave danger that we even think he might kick off World War III. You don't want to give this guy the nuclear codes. It's been 9 years of this nonsense, and we went from that 5-alarm fire, the sky is falling, the building's burning, to, actually, seems like he's doing a pretty fantastic job here. Yeah, the Democrats had one job. The entire strategy was convincing 54% of the country that Donald Trump is an existential threat, but it seems as though they can't even convince their own party anymore. Their biggest supporters, and even their own party members. Donald Trump seems to be winning over the world, as his agenda seems to be maturing here. Seems people are starting to realize the angles, they're starting to realize the vision. Or as I've been saying it, the Trump team is cutting through the noise, and it seems to be working. Let me show you guys exactly what's going on here. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. Okay, so example one. I mean, we all remember 2016 TYT, right? They had a full-blown meltdown when Donald Trump beat Hillary Clinton. And throughout the last 8 years, it's been non-stop anti-Trump coverage. And now, all of a sudden, I'm noticing a little bit of a tone shift here.
I'm going to give a lot of credit here to Donald Trump. And if you're on the left and you're like, oh, he brought home a hostage and cut out Israel, but he's Trump, boo, I don't want to give him credit. So did you not want to bring home a hostage? Did you want to make sure he followed the orders of the Israeli government? I don't know what you want, but I'm a fair person and an honest person. Trump deserves a lot of credit for this deal.
I can't believe I'm saying this. Someone who Donald Trump tapped to serve as his special envoy to the Middle East is way better on this issue than who Biden had involved in peace negotiations and a ceasefire deal. It's just incredible to see it.
So what do we tell you? We told you that the Democrats are a bunch of robots and they're never going to waver 1 inch from what the donor class wants, okay? But a wild card could also has some chance of going in the right direction. So it took a wild card to have an envoy who will say, well, the Israelis don't want peace. Oh, truth broke out.
I know, it's incredible.
So let's be honest, a Democratic envoy would have never said that.
Not in a million years.
They would not have had permission to say that. Joe Biden's envoys obviously never said that. They would lie on Israel's behalf every time. They say, oh, we really want to get to a ceasefire, but it's of course all Hamas's fault.
Yeah, that's when you know the shift is real. Right now, Trump is in the middle of one of the most aggressive and I'd say even one of the most successful global diplomatic tours in modern history. Going to Europe to brokerage peace, slowly day by day getting closer to bringing Russia and Ukraine in the same room to hammer out a peace deal, ending the conflict in Pakistan and India in literally 24 hours, then going on a massive Middle Eastern tour, securing huge investment commitments, sitting down with foreign leaders who we've been on icy terms with, and basically trying to turn the page on an era of broken foreign policy approaches. And Trump's doing it without having to spend $1 trillion fighting a war. He seems to be changing the paradigm with a very simple concept that he's essentially become an icon for. Business instead of war. Profits instead of conflict. You know, that's the beauty of having a non-status quo political outsider. The rest of the world gets it too, and when Donald Trump is just presenting himself as a business partner saying, look, how do we move forward in a positive direction where we have mutual respect and we trade and it's mutually beneficial. And it seems to be resonating with the world, whether it's the trade deals, the peace deals, or extending an olive branch to the Arab world to try to slowly normalize relations. And of course, I'm sure part of the end goal is also to export America, whether that's export American business, but also export American culture. Trump's doing something where if he was Joe Biden or Barack Obama, the left wouldn't stop talking about a Nobel Peace Prize. He's winning over the world with kindness, unironically. And what's so funny is that this is the guy that they were saying was going to start World War III. No, it's literally the exact opposite. But Democrats, of course, like I said, this is their strategy, right? They need to convince the people not to vote for them because their ideas are good. No, to vote for them out of fear that Donald Trump is an existential threat to humanity. But with this stuff going on, the cracks in their little narrative are starting to show, and even their own party members are starting to realize.
I'm not in the habit of praising Donald Trump, but I got to tell you, the last week or so in the Middle East, I go into the week fearing that the Prime Minister of Israel is hell-bent on going to war with Iran. I go into the week worried that we're going to miss the thread of an opportunity in Syria for the new leadership there. And I got to tell you, I think the president has, in this last week or so, played the Middle East pretty darn well. My guess is that the prime minister of Israel is cooling his heels a little bit on planning for Iran. My guess is that he's probably thinking through a better situation than he otherwise might want for Gaza. And look, it appears we're going to give Sharia a chance in Syria. That's pretty good stuff.
They're slowly realizing that Donald Trump may be onto something here, not just from a foreign policy angle, but also just economically. And just think about it. Think about the dollars, the amount of money that's come into the United States since Donald Trump was elected. We're talking trillions of dollars of investment commitments. It was already nuts when we were in the $5 to $6 trillion range. Well, now Donald Trump's topped it off by securing huge investment commitments from Saudi Arabia and other nations. So we got foreign investment pouring in, then we got tariffs doing their work, applying pressure on American companies to bring jobs back to America. Heinz is the latest company, now announcing a multi-billion-dollar investment in American production. You know, how are the Democrats going to sell doom and gloom when we start seeing some serious private sector job growth? When markets soar to all-time highs, when inflation is low, taxes are reduced, and real wage earnings are outpacing inflation? You know, what are the Democrats going to sell there? I think a lot of people are starting to realize, especially if they represent moderate districts or battleground states, they're going to start realizing that the fear porn that Democrats have been in the business of peddling, well, might just run the risk of sounding slightly out of touch with reality when the times are good. And something tells me they probably won't have, yet again, another black swan event to pull out of their back pocket as they did recently a couple times. And so already it seems we got people making the pivot, jumping the sinking ship, moving back to the center a little bit, you know, less the political center and more the sanity center, let's call it. Maybe we're walking into an era where Democrats get their heads out of their own behinds and they start giving credit where credit is due and work on, you know, actually doing things, work productively in a bipartisan fashion instead of screaming Hitler every 24 seconds. Who knows? Maybe we might slowly see some progress on the issue of Democrat sanity. Oh, and actually, as I'm recording this video, this just popped up on my timeline here. We got a tweet from the White House where they're counting the total investment back into the USA as being on the way to well over $10 trillion.
It's a true privilege to visit your country, special country, and gather as friends. I'm honored to be the first American president ever to officially visit. To the Emir, to the royal family, and to this entire nation, congratulations on a spectacular job. As president, I'm proud that our growing friendship has blossomed into a full-fledged economic and security partnership. You're setting records on this trip. We're bringing a lot of investment back into the United States of America. Will be well over $10 trillion. I want to thank Highness for helping with that number. You know you can count on us, and you know that it's going to be a great investment for you. So tonight, let us give thanks for the blessings of this friendship. We have a great friendship. I want to wish peace to the Emir and to all Qataris. Working together, we can help the entire region unlock its potential.
I don't know, it might be a foreign policy and economic paradigm shift that totally changes the way we do things. Trump seems to be on to something that even some Democrats can't even deny it anymore. And now the Trump administration is even hinting at a possible resolution in the Israel-Gaza situation. I don't know, as the kids say, Trump might be cooking, and it's starting to smell a little sweet across the hall. Anyways, that's pretty much what I got for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.